Hey guys, it's Tracy. Welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing my June wrap up. It is incredible to think that we are midway through the year. 2020 definitely has been an absolute turbulent and unexpected ride. On a reading level, I am happy to announce that I've actually met my reading challenge, which is so exciting for me for a number of reasons. So first off, I set a reading challenge of 12 books for this year, so that's one book for every month, which is very little, I will admit, compared to a lot of other readers challenges as well as what I have previously set for myself. There is a reason to that. So since 2014 I have never really hit a reading goal or reading challenge. So in 2014 I actually read a total of 105 books, I'm pretty sure. So that the next year I set a goal of 50, which I never met. So the year after that it was a goal of 30, and the year after that was a goal of 25, and then it just got less and less and less and less, and I never ever completed them. I just stopped reading for a long time, and I think I've explained it on this channel as well as on my blog already. This year for me it was intentionally choosing what books to read and to savor them, I would say, experience them properly. So that's one book per month, and I actually had a 2020 reading list put together, which I didn't even talk about, I don't think, but I'll leave a link to my Goodreads shelf with those books in there if you wanted to see what they were. I think I'm halfway through that list, which is really good. But yes, so for the month of June I actually read a total of 6 books, which helped me get to my reading goal, and I'm so excited, I'm so happy, and I'm actually really proud of myself for doing that. You know, the time that I've been given back at the moment has allowed me to rediscover my love for reading, my love for making booktube videos and blogging. So that's literally how I managed to complete my reading challenge. Enough rambling, we'll go straight into my wrap up. So first up, I ended up completing the Firebird series. So this is book 2, 10,000 Skies Above You and A Million Worlds with You by Claudia Gray. I've spoken about this entire series as well as these books countless times already on this channel, including in my previous book haul and my previous wrap up as well. I haven't done a review for these yet, but I absolutely loved them, loved every single moment of the entire series. I also spoke about them in my mid-year freak out book tag as well, so if you want to hear more about what I thought, you can watch that. Otherwise a review will be coming out very soon, I think. But this series has been out for so long now. It is a trilogy that follows a girl named Marguerite, whose parents have discovered how to travel between parallel dimensions, and in this series she has to actually go on these different adventures to save the people that she loves as well as save the world. Yeah, incredible series. If you haven't read it yet, please give it a go. And then I finally managed to read Tales from a Tall Forest by Sean McAuliffe. This one I also spoke about multiple times on the channel already. It is a children's picture book that I've been meaning to read for so long now. I've done a review for this, I'll leave a link to it down below. It's a gorgeous illustrated book where it combines a number of very well-known fairy tales into a modern twist. Absolutely gorgeous. As I said, the illustrations are done by Jonathan Bentley. So with this one here, there's 3 tales. You really could finish this within 30 minutes of sitting down to read it, but I wanted to read each tale over 3 different nights just to get that. My camera keeps coming in and out of focus, which is killing me. Yeah, just to get that children's book experience and that nostalgia from reading fairy tales at night again before bedtime. Oh, also forgot to mention, I think I gave that one about a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I ended up picking up Catch a Falling Star by Meg McKinley. With this one here, I bought it on a whim and I ended up loving it. I loved every single moment of it. It also was in my previous review with the Tales of a Tall Forest. Both this one and Tales of a Tall Forest is written by an Australian author. So with this one here, it is a YA contemporary set in a fictional town in Western Australia. It includes a real historical event in which a space station by the name of Skylab is falling from space, and a girl named Frankie Avery learns about it during an announcement, and it triggers a memory that she has been trying to suppress for the longest time. And then you go through and find out what it is and how she learns to cope as well as heal with that trauma. It's an exceptional story with exceptional writing, and I just grew to love and feel for Frankie so much in it, which is why I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. That emotional attachment was incredible, as well as Meg McKinley's great way of incorporating her own childhood influences into this as well. I really would love to read Meg McKinley's other books as well, because she does have great writing, but this is a very small read, so you'll get through it quite fast, and I would implore that you pick this up. So I finally managed to finish The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I'm sure everyone knows all about it already. There are countless reviews out there on BookTube. This is the prequel to the Hunger Games series, following President Snow whilst he is a student during the 10th year anniversary of the Hunger Games. So he becomes a mentor to a female tribute from the 12th district, and he is determined to win because at the moment his situation is quite precarious. It's not the same as what we would have known him to be like as president. And then you learn about, I guess, the history behind the Hunger Games, what the capital was like pre the Hunger Games, and yeah, I feel like I'm the last person to read this. It took me quite a while, honestly, because I did get bored in quite a few places. Overall, I'm fairly sure I gave this maybe a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I will be doing a brief review of it very soon if you are interested to hear what I have to say about it. But yeah, I think there are mixed reviews out there for good reason. For myself, I just thought it was okay. And lastly, I read Sister Heart by Sally Morgan. Now, Sally Morgan is an Indigenous author. She writes a story about a young girl who was taken from her parents or her mum and sent to kind of like a boarding school. And this is a fictional tale set during the period where what is now known as the Stolen Generation, where the government at the time took young Indigenous children away from their parents to have them re-educated, learn English, learn customs and cultures of Western society. It's the first time I've read something like this, I will be honest. I flew through the entire thing because I was captivated by the voice of the character. And honestly, if you were to read this, it really is to just give you a perspective, even though it is fictionalized, of what kids during that time would have felt like to be taken away from their family, especially for Indigenous people, when family and their land and their home really means a lot to them. Yeah, it just felt so heavy reading this. It's written in almost like a poetic form. So I read the ebook version, but on each page it was like just maybe 3 or 4 words on each line going down. But it's very artistic, very creative, and such an engrossing and captivating read for such a format like that. Yeah, I just think it's really worth the read, especially if you are Australian, currently living in Australia at the moment. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, but honestly I cannot judge the way that an Indigenous voice is represented by an Indigenous author, because I'm not Indigenous or Aboriginal. I just think for what it offers and is trying to deliver, it's such a incredible read. So those are all the books that I read during June. I do want to go through and show you guys my July TBR as well, because I'm actually really excited about the books that I've chosen to read. Currently though, I am reading White Rage, which I am taking my time to go through because I like to actually take notes and really process what's being written. I would love to finish that by the end of the first week of July. For the rest of July, I would love to be able to read the second book of Pages & Co, Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales by Anna James. This is a middle grade series. I've already read the first book. I've already done a review for it. As much as I didn't enjoy the first book, I do have high hopes for this one though, because I feel like the first book set the foundation for what I'm hoping is going to be a great adventure. So Tilly has the ability to book wander, which means that she can go in and out of books, as well as the ability to meet characters outside of the books and build that relationship, which I think is incredible. So yes, the foundation and the logistics around the book is great. Like, this is a quality that I would love to have. I'm just hoping that it's executed in a good way in the book. And then I want to read American Street by Ibi Zoboi. I'm gonna have to learn how to pronounce that. So it's a story of a young girl named Fabiola Toussaint, who her and her mum ends up arriving in America so that they could start a new life. But once they arrive in the US, her mum is actually detained by US immigration and she's sent off to live with her cousins. And then it goes through explaining, I guess, her new life and how she adapts with everything, as well as what happens with her mum. I'm really looking forward to reading this just to see what it has to offer and how it explains the US immigration system maybe, and how it differs with the Australian system, as well as what life is like for Fabiola. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing that very wrong. So that's that one. And then this one is a bit of a bigger read, but I really want to get through A Brief History of 7 Killings by Marlon James. It's a fictional recount based during the time where Bob Marley, the musician, had an assassination attempt against him. Now, I've watched the Netflix documentary already called Who Shot the Sheriff, I'm fairly sure, which was fascinating insight into the political landscape of Jamaica at the time and how significant or how influential Bob Marley was. So this I'm excited to read. It also won a number of prizes, including the Man Booker Prize award, so that's probably why I picked it up in the first place. The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Adair. Honestly, this is a long time coming. I've been putting off reading this for so long. I absolutely loved the first book. I wouldn't say that I exactly remember everything in the first book, so this is going to be interesting to dive straight into the second book. I'm fairly sure I'm going to struggle, but it is a retelling of the Arabian Nights, and yeah, we'll see how I go. And then lastly, I really would like to, if I have the time, to at least start rereading Deathless. I've been meaning to reread this for the last 3 years because the last time I read this was in 2012. It is a modern day fairy tale by Catherine M. Valenti set in St. Petersburg, and it follows the story of a handsome young man who arrives at the house of Maria Morevna. He's the Tsar of life and he is Maria's fate. Now, this is a romance that has a mystical or magical twist to it, following a Russian folk tale. I know that when I first read it I really loved it, but I will say that I'm fairly sure a lot of it went over the top of my head as well, just because at the time I only just turned 18. I'm interested to see 7 years on what I think about it and if anything changes. But that is everything that I want to read for July, yes, as well as what I read for June. I would love to know what you guys read in June, what you liked, what you disliked, and whether you have any plans to read any interesting books in July. Other than that, I hope you guys are taking care and that you have a great week. I shall see you guys soon. Bye.